C6. I thought I'd done a teardown video of this before. I guess I hadn't. 9/16 on the tail housing. See if we can get this done before the radio gets turned on. That way I'll have to turn the fan on. The bracket for your modulator is up here on the corner. There's no need to take your bracket off if you have a 4x4. You can just leave it on there. 3/8 on the governor. Depending on what year you have as to what your modulator is going to be, this one's a push-in. So there's a 1/2 inch bolt that holds the bracket on. Depending on where you are and all, there's a bunch of different. This is the original modulator on here. We're gonna have to test it and see if it's any good. I'm gonna put a vacuum gauge on the end out here. Probably is, because I don't see no fluid. Keep your pin separate. We have to measure it and make sure, but since it's not been replaced, it doesn't look like it should be okay. But there's a stripe on here as to what it is, and that determines how long the pin needs to be. 1/2 inch on the support here. Most of them were green stripe, and if memory serves me right, it was inch 710 to inch 720. I may be wrong on that. This tag right here tells you what it belonged in. The letter on the cover here tells you what servo it is, what ratio it is, and these are usually hard as a rock, and it is. So it's going to need to be replaced. You can just about guarantee it's going to be hard as a rock. 1/2 inch on the kick down. Three-eighths on the neutral switch. You just leave your linkage bracket on there. There's no need to take it off. Okay. Oh, there it goes. I thought we got rusted on there. (13/16) on the band. 1/2 inch on the pump and the pan. And you could probably get the pump out right now just doing that. We're going to get it out from the inside. Alright, probably going to need a shallow wall socket. These pan bolts get mighty close to the pan. They are different than Chevys. Do not try to put a Chevy bolt in there. You will cut the pan and you'll get a leak and you'll never be able to get it to quit. Sonex sells the bolts now if you need them, because they have pretty much no shoulder on them. Since it's a 4x4, we have a pickup tube and a grommet on our filter. Alright, depending on what year you have as to what size these bolts are going to be, they either be 3/8 or to be 7/16. Take our band struts off. We can take our linkage out now, or we can wait, and I'm just going to wait for right now. Get a pry bar, you get in between your sun shell and your rear planet, and just push your pump out. Our input shaft to make sure we're not eat up anywhere on here on the splines. Alright, we have an original plastic washer. We're going to want to get rid of this and go to a brass washer. Find out what your number is on here is how you set your end play. This one's a number 2. Probably going to want to get a number 3 and a number 5. And be able to set our end play with that. Half inch on the pump. Alright, check our surface here. Bushings are probably all going to be pretty well worn, so I'm not even going to pay attention to them. I'm just going to replace them all. Make sure our ring lands are okay. This surface right here is okay. Check our pump gears, make sure they're not all scored up. Not got too much play. Everything looks pretty good. Alright, get our clutches out here. Clutches still look pretty decent. I should have looked and seen what the complaint was on this. Oh, I remember what the complaint was. The governor was hanging up pretty bad. Sometimes it would take off in high gear. Sometimes it wouldn't. Sometimes it would downshift on its own. Washer looks pretty good. Make sure our ring lands in here are okay. That these splines aren't stripped out where the clutches ride. It's not all eat up. And forwards are burnt, gonna need steels. Pressure plate's okay. We have a bottom pressure plate and cushion plate. Bevel plate on here. This snap ring is different, so keep it separated. Make sure your bevel plate's looking good. These do crack. We got a little bit of marks there, but nothing too bad. There's a metal ring that goes underneath it. When you're putting this back together, make sure that that spot right there is in between one of these fingers. Band is burnt. Alright, get up out of there. There we go. And you can see it's pretty well burnt. Bearing feels okay. Washer looks okay. Everything looking good there. Make sure our planet's looking okay. Depending on what planet you have is what washer you're going to have. So make sure all that matches up. Make sure our bearing in there is in good shape. No pits on our gear for our sun shell. Here again on your back planet, what washer you have, determined by what planet you have. Pop the snap ring off the Planetary. Our planet will come out. We have another washer that goes on the back side of that. All these washers look really good shape. They have a snap ring that holds our output shaft in. Alright, pull the snap ring out for our clutches. And where's our opening at? Looks like we're down here about 6 o'clock. Should be. I put them over at the 9 o'clock. Yeah. Our ring gear will come out. This is the later style. The early ones had a washer here. You can upgrade this to a bearing style. They used to, I don't know if they still do, it's been so long since I've done a C6. They used to sell a kit with a bearing and the race, because you have to make it match. Alright, this got the original style spring and roller Sprag. We can update this to the plastic one that they put in the E4ODs. You just need to take both snap rings out. And of course leave everything else out that's in here, and the plastic one will just pop into place. If you're not going to do that, you definitely want to replace this anyway, so you might as well do it. It's a good upgrade. And this is the original setup. Washer's usually always chewed up where the rollers are. You can flip it over. Our low reverse still looks pretty good. Okay, if it's early style, you're going to have a snap ring that holds the Sprag race in. Late style is held in with the bolts. Either way, all you have to do, make sure everything looks good here, is unbolt it from back here and it will come out. Don't worry about trying to take this over to a press or anything and try to press the spring cage down. Our part gear, make sure everything looks good there. Governor tubes, usually okay. One of the big wear areas is right here on the governor rings. And washer, spring, pivot pin in our park actuator. Make sure it's in good shape here. Alright, 7/16 on the back. For that. Our Sprag race, make sure it's in good shape. It looks to be good. And the late style, the Sprag race holds that in. Alright, we can take some air, blow our piston out. Take our modulator valve out. Make sure our our servo bore is good. Pull out our kick down linkage. Seven-eighths on our linkage. Remember which way your linkage was pointing, some point down, some point up. Alright, check right in here and make sure that this has not been messed up where it bolts in. Sometimes it gets, if they get really radical with this thing, they'll waller this out. Same thing here, if they over tighten this, it can split right inside of here, so make sure you're not split. Sometimes when they try to pry this linkage off, they'll crack this, so make sure everything's in good shape there. We're looking good, case is empty. Last thing is to take the drum apart. Okay, you'll notice that the springs are in different spots. I would go ahead and mark them. That way you don't have to guess at where they were. I have seen them in different places. Okay, if our piston does not want to come out, we can just shoot some air to it, block this hole off, shoot air in there. Okay, one of the things that you might want to do, let's go ahead and look at our governor real quick. Governor's pretty free, so probably what's happened, things you might want to do is pull this plate off. .5/16 on this. And be careful that you don't drop anything out of here. And check these springs right here. All right, these are okay. So there's something else going on somewhere else. So we just need to get into this valve body. Maybe another broken spring somewhere. May just be debris getting up in there. Hanging this up sometimes. That one was a little draggy. So these are real bad about breaking, and Sonax is selling them now, so we'll have to check that. Also, another good area to check is your boost valve, see if it's worn out. This factory filter, you can leave those out. Okay, I guess that's it for the teardown. No point in doing a rebuild on this one. I got rebuild videos of them. I'll double check the pin length of what this one was supposed to be, and I'll try to put it in the video somewhere. Alright, we'll see you later.